Okay, this is a demonstration on how to draw symmetrical objects. Symmetry, of course, means that both halves of the object are equal. A lot of man-made objects, such as pop cans or pop bottles or small candles, even wine glasses, symmetrical. Both halves are exactly the same. So drawing symmetrical objects is pretty logical. What you want to do is make sure both halves are the same or equal, and you should be on your way. So there's a couple of tricks that I can give you to help you with this, and a couple of lines to use to help address any unevenness or issues. I'm sure using the contour line drawing technique, you could draw the pop can, just outline it. But one common roadblock that people run into is that one half is just a little bit different than the other. So to sketch and to assure that you have a symmetrical object when you're done, you want to start with a couple of simple lines. First, a perfectly horizontal line called a level. And to draw a horizontal line, you really want to keep a horizontal edge in view. So like I look at the edge of the paper as I sketch this, and I'm sketching. So I put a bunch of lines down, and then I can go back and take the one that actually looks straight or straightest. And if it's a little bit off, the world won't end. It'll all still work out just fine. So all those little adjustments can be made later. So here is my horizontal line, and this is called a level. And now I need to create a vertical line. And perfect vertical lines take a little bit of practice because we all seem to taper off in the end and turn and curve a little. But if you sketch it lightly and then go back with your eraser and kind of, well, at least clean up where you think the line should be straight. And again, if you look at a straight edge, like on the edge of your sketchbook, you can kind of double check it. Now when these two intersect, you need a 90-degree angle. That's pretty important. We need a perpendicular 90-degree angle right here. So now, next step. I have a guideline for the center, for the vertical center, and I have a guideline, my level, for the horizontal center at the top. Oh, one more thing. This vertical axis line is called a plumb line. So if I refer to it, this is a plumb line. It's a vertical axis line, and my level line is my horizontal axis line. So to kind of get started, I have to draw this shape at the top first. I'm going to because it's closest to me and the most clear. And the top of the pop can, as we all know, is a perfect circle. But when you look at it in real life as it sits in front of you, unless your head is over the top of it, you don't see a perfect circle. You see a circle that's slightly skewed and in perspective, and that's called an ellipse. So I'm going to start by drawing my ellipse. And my ellipse, I'm going to just say I want it to be this big on this side. I'm going to just tuck it out that side, and then on the other side, on my level line, I'm going to try and mark an equal distance. Now if I'm not sure if those distances are equal, I can take my pencil and I use the tip of my pencil to mark that tip, and then my finger to mark where that line is, and I can drag it to the other side and just double check. My fingertip looks like, yep, that's about right. So now I'm going to draw the curve. Now this ellipse that I see is fairly round, so I'm going to just make one side curve up, and I think it could go up just a little bit more, and just draw this one piece. So this distance up, I need to make an equal distance down on the bottom. The corners of this ellipse are definitely not pointy, so this distance and this distance look like they're equal to me. If they're not, I can do the same strategy and check it again. And then out here, I need to make another nice curve. And we practice arches already, so you want to kind of use those same skills. And bring it around here. And here. Something like this. That looks close for now. So this is the center and the very top of my pop can. Now the next thing I notice is that my pop can actually gets wider a little bit lower down. So I'm going to look at this front edge right here, and I'm going to try and estimate how far is it from here to here. It's a bit of a distance, maybe about right there, right? And then I'm going to look at, what's this? How far is this? Looks like it could be right about there. Basically, I need to draw a second ellipse going around this so that I can create this curve so that it just is about right. Now this top ellipse is a little smaller than the second one. This sticks out just a little farther. So I'm going to just guess, looking at it from here. This is the center. It comes out to about there. I'm just going to put a little tick mark right here. If I look at this corner and go down a bit and over, I'm going to say that's about where it should go. And on the other side, I'm going to try and take that exact same distance. And so I'll use my pencil tip on the line, on the center plumb line, and my fingertip marking that tick mark. You can just see it. And I'll bring it to the other side, and I'll push my pencil down right about there. Now it's not exactly at the same level. So just to make sure I can put another level line here, it should be right about there. So this is where my second level, or second elliptical shape should go. And I'm just going to draw from here to here, all the way around. I think this could be just a bit more curvy, but I'm going to do something like this. Alright, so now I've got the top of my pop can pretty well established. Both sides of my pop can are perfectly straight, and I know that. And the length of my pop can I can kind of estimate after I get started, but to make sure that my sides of my pop can are straight, I'm going to look at the center plumb line. I'm going to draw vertical lines going straight down. And I'm just going to make sure this distance is the same. And this side, same thing. If the line starts tilting in like this, then I know I have to adjust, so I just sketch another line that I think is correct, and I should be okay. Now one trick when you're sketching cylinder shapes is that the curve that you have at the top is usually the same as what you have on the bottom. So instead of taking this curve, because it's a little more extreme, I'm going to take this curve and I'm going to make the exact same arch at the base of my pop can. But the next thing I have to decide is, where is the bottom? How far is it from this to this? What's the distance that I need in my drawing? I'm going to slide my drawing up just a little bit. My pop can looks really, really wide. So what I'm thinking is that it might be a slightly longer than what I need it to be. So I'm just going to sketch these lines down and see what happens. And then I will say my arch needs to go from here to here and around. I did not draw a level line. I'll put a level line in here and see if that helps me kind of get this straight. So level, level, round this out. The corners of the pop can, although we know look like it's sitting flat, are very, very round. The front is a little more round and curved here. And sides about there. So now this pop can looks a little wide to me, so I'm going to kind of clean up my sketchy lines and see how this looks. I don't need this. I'll take that out. And I'm not really sure that I'm getting everything I need. At the very top of my pop can, I see a few more details that I can add in. This little lip has some thickness to it, so I'll just make my lines a little more clear here. This comes around. And this disappears slightly over. Back here on the edge, if I look right about there, there's a slight angle where this kind of comes in a little bit more. And I think this pop can might need to be a little thinner. We'll see. I'll just keep adding a few more curves, details. So as long as both halves of your symmetrical object stay equal, or the same, equal distance from the center axis, you are on your way. Inside the top of the pop can, there's this dip or ridge, and I think also that this top, pop can top, might be a bit more round. We'll see if I can add a little more curve to it, just erasing or rounding out the corners. Then we have the ridge on the inside. It comes down and around slightly. There's a few other simple shapes here that I see. I'll fill in and see if that helps. A lot of the details will fit in appropriately when the shape is right, and I'm not really sure that it is right yet, but these are the basic steps you need to draw a popcan. Just keep your object symmetrical. So any other symmetrical object, you start with a level line and a plumb line, draw one piece, and then keep adding on and building down. A really simple demonstration of a cylinder is in another video, so if you want to start with that, you can start with that.